Greetings and welcome, everybody, to the Beers and Bodyslams podcast. Sitting across from me, who's the belle of the ball that all the popular boys want to dance with, Mr. Fluffy.
Oh, so sweet.
Oh, that's great.
Sitting across from me is the man that Irish plays Cabana Boy to.
Stop
Good
it.
old JB.
You bitch.
And sitting to my right, the man whose rumored heel turn is scheduled to take place this summer, the Irish O'Leary.
Evil Cabana Boy.
Evil Cabana Boy. I will be Mango. We have got a great show. It's the Brewski.
Brewski. Second annual.
This is our second annual Brewskis. Now, you've heard of the Oscars. You've heard of the Emmys. You've heard of the Grammys. All that crap. Today, the greatest single awards ceremony ever. Better than the Slammies.
Better than the Source Awards?
Better than the Mizzies.
Oh, sorry.
I can't say that.
Better than the Billboard Awards?
Probably a little bit better than the BET Awards.
You know what? They're not as good as the Blockbuster Video Awards.
That's true.
Those were amazing.
Teen Choice Awards?
The Brewskis, ladies and gentlemen, where we decide the fate of some of the greatest superstars, moments, pay-per-views
Decide the fate.
of 2017.
Wow, the ego in this room is so thick, I can taste it.
We take ourselves very
probably in that
seriously.
glass.
Oh, my God. All
We
right.
spent literally minutes thinking about it. No, I'm kidding. We actually worked on this week.
Yeah, we did. We had
We take this seriously,
All right.
ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we'll get all to that and so much more
When we come right
back.
This is the Beers and Body Slams podcast
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
with your host, Mr. Fluffy,
Hello, ladies.
good old JB,
Booty-O's! They make sure you ain't booty.
and the Irish O'Leary.
There's only one word to describe you, and I'm gonna spell it out for you. A-A-W-S-T!
This is the only podcast bringing you craft beer and pro wrestling that really matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, E-Generation X proudly brings to you its WWF Tag Team Champion of the World, the Road Dogg Jesse James, the Badass Billy Gunn, the new.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
All right, Mr. Fluffy, what are we drinking today for the Brewskis?
We are drinking a very special beer.
Yes.
We are drinking from DuClaw Brewing Company.
DuClaw.
DuClaw.
We are drinking Sweet Baby Java.
Or
Or
the Claw.
So we've had Sweet Baby Jesus on the show.
yes.
This is the espresso bean infused version.
We've had the baby Jesus on the show?
Yes, we have.
Holy cow.
Of the chocolate peanut butter porter. So this is a coffee chocolate peanut butter porter, and holy crap, it's good.
Oh my God. It's so good.
It is such an amazing, like Sweet Baby Jesus is one of my favorite beers, period.
Yeah.
And this is a close second.
Yeah.
It is
absolutely.
really good. Yes.
Oh, it is so good.
Happy I did well this
Yeah,
time.
this would be good with ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
Like this would be amazing with dessert.
Yes.
This is a dessert beer every moment of the day.
Every second of the minute.
Oh my God.
It's so good. What are your thoughts, my friend?
I love it.
Yeah.
Any espresso coffee.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about the peanut butter.
It adds
It's
to
not
it, though.
really too rich, overpowering.
No.
It's balanced perfectly. I enjoy it.
It's really good. So thank
It's
you
one of
so
the highest
much
beers I've rated, actually.
to DuClaw for your amazing variant of an amazing beer. That's a great. You know you're a good brewery when you can take an amazing beer,
Right.
make a variant, and still make an amazing beer. Because how often do we go, oh, the original was great, but the ones they made after were kind of crap.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, this is one of those beers where it could have been so bad.
Oh, yeah.
Too much coffee.
Too much coffee, too much peanut butter.
Yeah.
to overset the coffee.
It's really good. Trust us on this. If you're wanting to get into the coffee brews, this is
Yes.
probably a good step
Yeah.
into it because
Yeah.
it's pretty good. It's not overpowering.
Absolutely.
It's 6.2, right?
6.2. It's light. It's a light one. Yeah. So we're doing the brewski. So what we're going to do is we've got a bunch of categories. I've lost count. And we're going to do round robin style. We're each going to say our particular winner of that category.
Okay.
So we are going to start off very quickly with the best non-wrestling show. What this qualifies as is not necessarily a show that does not involve wrestling, but a show that's not either Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. The other sort of stuff around the thing.
But it's still WWE based.
But still WWE based or wrestling based.
Correct.
So that's very important. So
If it takes Ring of Honor, New Japan, all that's off the table.
yeah, yes, WWE
Right.
themed.
Got it.
So I'm going. Who wants to start first with their first their pick?
Well, who's the champion? Pay-per-view champion.
You are.
I am
Fluffy.
No, I am.
Whoa.
No. I won
He
the
went
last pay-per-view.
perfect.
I went perfect on the last pay-per-view.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But who, the year of
Oh, the year champion is still.
Oh, so okay. I get to go first.
All right, we'll do that. That's fine. Okay,
and then you and then I'll go.
okay, that's fine.
'Cause
All
I
right.
suck the most.
It'll be so hard.
So who's your first? What's your pick for the best non-wrestling show?
For me, it always will be until they come out with something better. Is Table for Three.
All right.
I love the nostalgia.
Yep.
I loved hearing the old school, new school guys and girls
Stories.
sit around and just shoot the shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like I can relate to their memories to a degree because I feel I grew up watching them.
Right.
Yeah.
So to hear them outside of character, it's probably stuff they would literally go to dinner and talk about themselves.
Yeah.
To be able to hear them and see them in that setting, just reflecting,
Yeah.
it just takes me back, and I just love that dynamic.
I love that show. I just wish it was longer.
Yeah.
It's
That's
only
what she
usually
said.
Yeah.
18 minutes. I wish it was like a half hour.
Yeah.
And it was a half hour pure.
Yeah,
Is there a specific show for you?
The Horseman.
The Horseman?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For me, that was the one. That was my favorite one. I pretty much liked all of them.
Yeah.
But that was the one that really pulled me into the show.
Right.
I didn't start watching it when it first started. I kind of got into it later, but then that was the first one I saw. I saw the list of shows and was like, I definitely got to see this one first. And just seeing them, man, and reliving the glory days, it was just like I like to see this.
I had the one with the NWO one.
Yeah, that one was
That
good
was
too.
good.
With Nash and Hall and all that was really good.
Did you see the one with Corey Graves and I want to say it was Lita and Renee Young?
That was good too.
That was really
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
So I like that kind of stuff too.
yeah. I
That's
like
pretty
that
good.
one.
Mine was a show that actually didn't run on WWE Network in any way.
Yeah.
But it was wrestling themed and absolutely amazing. Was the incredible 30 for 30 on Ric Flair
From
Just-
ESPN.
Oh yeah,
Just from ESPN, just an amazing documentary. I got excited when they announced the 30 for 30 because I like 30 for 30. Then I got nervous because I'm like, okay, are they going to treat it the way it should be treated? And ESPN just let the documentary and just go.
Right.
And it was a love letter to Ric Flair. That was awesome. And I also love the fact that WWE got behind it.
Right.
Because they gave them footage, they gave them access to people, so it wasn't like they pulled back. So that was the perfect combination of everything to make it this beautiful tribute to
Probably the greatest of all time.
the greatest of all time by far.
Hey, what's the? I mean, I hate to ask this, but what's the 30 for 30? It's probably 30 minutes.
The original idea, as far as I remember, was they were going to make 30 films over like 30. That was the idea. It was supposed to be 30 films.
It's just a name now.
And then now it became their documentary series.
Now, is it 30 minutes or is it an
No,
hour?
no, it depends. This was 2 hours.
Holy cow.
Yeah, some of them were I've seen anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour.
yeah.
The Celtics versus Laker one is 7 hours,
Yeah.
broken up over 3 episodes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but I'm saying is they don't limit it anymore.
Sure, cool.
I watch them all. They could be an hour. Usually they're about an hour
Right.
is the smallest they are.
Right.
But they'll be 2 hours.
The thing with this one is it didn't feel like 2 hours.
No, it went by fast.
It seemed like it just went by so quickly.
Right.
But the shows like that, they take me back to my childhood,
Yeah.
and that's the ones
Yeah.
that I can relate to the most.
I agree.
It was used the cartoons. They used little cartoons in it. They
Yeah.
used the stories. It was just perfect.
Yeah,
Right.
it was good.
Yeah.
I agree. Love
Nice.
it. I
So
love
what was
both those
yours?
shows. I knew that you were probably going to pick the 30 for 30. I did not anticipate you picking what you picked. I did pick the Table for 3 as well.
Okay.
But I picked a specific one. The one that I picked was Nash and AJ Styles and Shawn Michaels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it was amazing to hear the stories because they were all connected.
Yep.
in different ways.
Yeah. And there were sort of TNA stories in there in
Yes.
a way that they wouldn't say it, but
Correct.
there were some definitely Nash and AJ stories
Right.
from TNA.
Yeah.
Right. Nash was kind of like the through.
Yeah. He was the connecting tissue.
Yeah, he was connective tissue for both the other two superstars. But it's really great to see AJ Styles on that level. I mean, he's sitting at the table with arguably one of probably the number 2 greatest of all time.
Oh yeah.
And
opinion.
Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and that's not
But it
a
was
knock.
great. Yeah, it's not a knock on Kevin Nash, but I mean,
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels is freaking,
Yeah.
the GOAT. I mean,
Exactly.
he's amazing. He's not Ric Flair, but who is?
He's close
He's got
second.
his own niche, man. So I like that show specifically. I would probably say the closest thing that I have coming close to that was probably the I can't remember the name of it, but it's the behind the scenes with Finn Balor.
Oh, the 24?
The 24 with Finn Balor.
Yeah.
That's probably my closest favorite. But that specific episode of Table for Three is the one that really.
Yeah.
And I will say, as one last little one, my guilty pleasure on non-wrestling
Right along.
with Southpaw.
Southpaw.
I love Ride Along with Southpaw. If you've never watched any of the Southpaw wrestling, oh my God.
You are missing out, my friend.
All right. So on to our next category. So your favorite moment of the year. So this could be whatever pretty much you want. So this is
I
your
got a
favorite
feeling
moment.
that a couple of us are going to have the same pick for
All
this.
right. So what's your first one?
My favorite moment of 2017 was definitely, without even a doubt, was the Festival of Friendship.
Well, that makes 2.
That makes 3.
All right. That was an easy one. That was the perfect segment.
It was.
Yeah.
You could have taken that segment off of this year
Yes.
and transported 10 years in the past, 20 years in the future, and it would have worked.
Without a doubt.
It was perfect in every way.
From execution to the lead up to it, it was absolutely perfect.
The build up, the moment. My favorite line of the whole thing is when Jericho goes, "Why is my name on the list?"
Yeah.
And he drops it, and you're like, "Oh, this is so awesome! Like this is the best thing ever."
You know, it's good to like you said, the build up and everything, but they delivered it. You know what I mean? Like they executed that perfectly.
Right.
Which, we've seen some good scenarios and good opportunities wasted and as far as execution, but the way they carried that out, and that was the perfect build to that, where he's looking at the list and you didn't even have to hear him talk.
Yeah.
You saw his facial expressions. You're like, oh, this is about to go south.
My only other, I went back and forth, but I figured we were all going to pick the same one. My second one was the Taker's curtain call.
Yeah.
When the music was playing and he was out there by himself and he took his hat off and he took his stuff off and he just piled it in the ring and walked away. It was a sad moment, but if that was a very close second for me.
It definitely was.
Because it was powerful.
Right.
Yeah.
Powerful moment.
Absolutely. The thing that was so great about the Festival of Friendship is if you hear the Jericho story on his podcast where he talks about how they had to fight for
everything
in that segment.
Yeah.
And he literally was like, Vince, this is going to be great. You have to just believe in this.
Yeah.
And it
they
worked.
fought for every moment of it. And it worked out so beautifully. So that's got to be my favorite.
Yeah.
You're right. The Undertaker moment was massive, but that's my favorite. The Festival of
I
Friendship.
agree with you. So, all right. So that was easy. All right. So next up is that was an easy one. Next up is your favorite pay-per-view of 2017.
I think we're all going to agree on this.
I don't know.
Roadblock, right?
Yes.
Right? Am I right?
Forgot about that one.
Extreme Rules. Go ahead. What's your pick?
Yeah, for me, it was Mania. Not because it was Mania, but because it actually exceeded my expectations. And I don't think I really could say that for any pay-per-view last year. I remember we all talked about it and we looked at it. We were like, man, this is kind of bland and average looking. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
But they over delivered on what was
everything.
what was put out there. And like I said, one of, if not the only one, pay-per-view that exceeded my expectations last year, from, like you said, Taker's moment to the Shane AJ match, which, we didn't really know which way that could go. It was just
the Hardy Boys.
The Hardy Boys returning.
Yep.
That was huge.
It was just a lot. It was a lot
Right.
that they over-delivered on, which made that, for me, the standout pay-per-view last year.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. My favorite pay-per-view last year was last year's Royal Rumble. because of particular matches, we had a really good match between Nia and Sasha. We also had a great match between Charlotte and Bayley, where Charlotte ended up retaining her title. Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns in a no DQ match for the Universal title. That was also the Shark Tank match where Jericho was hung above the ring and dropped the key.
That's right.
That was a good one. And then the match that made it was Cena versus AJ for the championship. That was a great match. I think it's going to go in when we look back on Cena's career, that's going to be top 10, if not top 5 matches he's ever had.
Yeah,
because he went out there with a young buck in AJ.
Yeah.
And they just burned the house down. No, but you know what I'm saying, though. But they went out there and burned that house down.
Who won that Rumble last year?
Randy Orton. We won't talk about that. That was the downfall. That's the pay-per-view where the pay-per-view before that was great.
Right.
The Rumble itself was crap.
Truth.
But beyond that, every other match beyond that, because you also had Neville versus Rick Swann. You had Luke Gallows and You had the club. You had the club versus Cesaro and Sheamus. You had some really good matches before that on even the pre-show and the matches itself.
It's a solid show.
It was a solid show, and then the Rumble let it down. But I think the other matches beyond that were so good that you can overlook the Rumble.
Sure, absolutely.
What was yours?
Irish.
My favorite pay-per-view of last year. This was tough. I had a 3-way tie for me, but the one that put me over the edge was NXT TakeOver War Games.
Okay.
NXT, every time they put an NXT pay-per-view on one of the big 4, usually outshines it.
Yeah.
WrestleMania was probably the only one that doesn't matter. We were at NXT's TakeOver in Orlando. That was a great show.
It was a great show.
That was probably my number 2.
Yeah.
And WrestleMania being the number 3. There's so many moments in WrestleMania, it was kind of obvious. But for me, I mean, just stop and think about this. I mean, Ruby Riott is going up against Sonya Deville. Now they're on the main roster.
Yep.
Pete Dunne going against Johnny Gargano. I mean, 2 of the best going at it.
Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
Lars Sullivan and Cassius Ohno, which is a snoozer on paper, actually wound up being a really good match.
Yeah.
Cassius Ohno is kind of, I don't get him. But anyway, the match that I really dug was Aleister Black versus Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, I didn't
Say my name.
Yeah.
Say it.
Yeah.
Say it.
I thought that match would be crap, but it was really, really good.
Aleister Black is intriguing.
Very much so.
Yep.
He's very intriguing.
Then you've got that fatal 4-way with Ember Moon, Kairi Sane, Nikki Cross, and Peyton Royce.
Yep.
Dude.
Yeah, it was
4 up-and-coming hungry young ladies kicking the crap out of the ring.
Yep.
I thought that was amazing. The heartbreaker of the night was Andre Cien Almas versus Drew Galloway. Drew Galloway, that he got injured.
And that's why they finished.
And that's why they put the belt on Cien. And Cien seems to be taking it and running with it.
Yeah.
It's a heartbreaker for Drew. And you could read it in his face.
Oh, yeah.
Because he finally got another shot.
He got a shot and he was using it. He'll come back, hopefully better.
Yeah.
And he'll get his shot. But War Games, bringing back a WCW pay-per-view, and we were like, God, please don't screw this up.
Yeah.
And they did not.
Yep.
It
I agree.
was awesome. So you've got, the Undisputed era with Adam Cole. Baby.
That's my.
You got all those
my
dudes,
guy right there.
Authors of Pain.
Sanity was my favorite.
Sanity. Oh my God. It was just,
I love Sanity.
Just amazing. From start to finish, it was a great
Yeah.
match.
I still have not seen that.
Oh, you got to watch it. It's
You haven't
unreal
seen
good.
War Games
I
yet?
still have
It's
not seen
unreal
it.
good.
Yeah, so that's my favorite pay-per-view of 2017 is War Games.
All right.
Awesome.
So next up is our best NXT call-up. Who came onto the main roster from NXT you think has made an impact or has shown potential? Go ahead, JB.
It's kind of weird that I'm even saying this, but it was Samoa Joe. And I don't really see him as a call-up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he technically is.
Yeah, he's made an impact.
But I mean, like the guy, and I had my doubts, when he first came over to WWE, if he was going to be able to be that guy. And I've seen him before, but like for me, with the WWE, you got to be able to talk, and it's more like for me, a lot of his promos that I've seen, the few that I've seen, has always been one note, kind of monotone.
Yeah.
But ever since he's been he has an intensity about him that no one else has.
Right.
And like I see that now, that he's getting a lot of time to shine on Raw, and for me, it's not even a question who he's the best call up so far for me.
Absolutely, good call.
All right. Mine is a more recent call up. Mine's the Riot Squad. I think they injected something into SmackDown with some fresh blood that was needed.
Yeah, I agree.
I think when you look at, I think they're an example of the pieces together are better than the pieces separated.
Correct.
Because Ruby's good, but Ruby was always missing something in NXT.
Yeah.
Liv was always sort of like, oh, you're just Carmella Light. And Sarah Logan really didn't make an impact.
We haven't seen what Sarah Logan's known for yet.
But as a group, they have really, in comparison, I look this way, I've talked before, in comparison to Absolution on Raw,
Yeah.
I think they are far and above better.
Right.
They're being used better.
I think they're being used better. I think
agree.
they have more upside. I think their eventual rise to power and then self-destruction is going to affect the women's division for years to come.
I agree.
I think connected, those three, because I'm looking at it as who has a potential to make 5 years from now. I'm still
So
talking about them.
you're looking at potential as opposed to best right now.
I'm looking at who I think is the best call-up, as in who I think has the potential to do something and who's making it work now.
So my thinking was best right now.
No, and I agree with you, but I think they're best right now too. I think on SmackDown, they're the reason
Better than Joe?
But the reason, okay, but this way, I'll be honest with you, on SmackDown, I get excited when they come out.
Well, I do too,
But no, I'm saying is that I'm excited to see them. I agree with you and Joe.
Yeah,
I'm not
I am
disagreeing
too.
with Joe. Joe's a great pick. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying I'm looking at potential and who I want to watch.
They were more needed
Yeah.
on that brand.
Yeah.
right.
Like you said, they injected life into that brand, and I can kind of see it. But for me, like the jury's still out.
Yeah.
From on my
Sure.
as far as what how good that call up will be.
Yeah.
They do, like you said, have the best potential.
Oh, they have
good potential.
huge potential.
But we've seen what WWE has done. With
Yeah,
potential.
I look at it as like a Rookie of the Year award. You give it to the person you think that's having a great time, and you hope they're going to do that in the future.
yeah.
So, but that's just my
Right.
opinion.
Yeah.
Irish.
My choice is going to bridge the gap, but I have to ask you a question before we go any
Yes.
further. Who wants to walk with Elias?
Oh,
There you go.
yeah.
I think
agree.
Elias,
He was my second choice.
Elias
Yeah.
has the greatest upside,
Yeah.
and he's making the best of his situation right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Elias has a great look.
Yep.
He
The company's
moves well.
named after him.
Company is named after him.
God.
He's got so much potential. They haven't even scratched the surface on
Yep.
him yet,
I agree.
and I think he's making a pretty good impact. It's been a slow burn. My second choice is actually Asuka. I mean, I wanted to go with Samoa Joe, but Joe just didn't seem like a call up. It
Yeah.
was
He
like,
didn't. I used
you
the
know,
technicality.
Yeah.
Asuka is the same way as Joe.
Yeah.
She's not really a call up. It just
She's
know
there.
She's Asuka. The problem the problem with Asuka is they're building her into that monster woman, like the Goldberg thing, and it boxes you into a corner. The same thing that they did with Rusev.
Mm-hmm.
If you're never going to lose,
Yeah, it's tough.
then there's nobody that they can pit against. You have to figure out ways to get the belt off them. Once you put the belt on Asuka, there's nowhere you can go. The only person that could conceivably do it is they did a multiple match with multiple people, and Asuka doesn't actually lose the belt, or she gets put in a match with someone who is physically too overpowering, like a Nia Jax. That's the only way that Asuka's ever going to lose.
Yeah.
But with Elias, you get long term and you get immediate impact.
Well, that, and I think with Elias, the big thing is number one, you have both side potential. He could play face or heel. I
sure,
think.
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Sure. And once he steals the Jeff Jarrett breaking the guitar over people's heads,
Exactly.
and he starts spelling his name with double letters, he's going to be the man,
And
baby.
I think he's a future world champion.
Absolutely.
So, all right. I agree with that completely. I agree with all their picks. I just look at different ways, and that's why we love this show.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So, next up is the most underrated wrestler currently on the roster.
Bo Dallas. Just kidding.
No, well, that could be your pick. So,
He actually stole my pick. For
that
a
who it
different
is?
category, Elias.
That's not my pick.
Elias?
No,
You
I
think-
mean I used it.
Oh, yeah. That's
You
your
think
pick,
he's
most
underrated?
Yeah. I don't think that used him nowhere near up to his potential right now.
Truth.
We see what he can do, but they haven't pulled the trigger on anything.
Yeah. I agree.
So in that way, he's underrated because
agree.
they haven't utilized his potential to its fullest yet. If we believe that he can be a future world champion, then he's definitely underrated by that value.
Absolutely.
He should have a belt by now.
Yeah, so it's like he definitely has. He'll probably, put it this way: if they use him correctly, he could be a candidate for our Wrestler of the Year this year.
I agree with you. Sure.
If he's used correctly.
WWE has enough belts. I don't see why they couldn't give him one.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Mine is one I've mentioned before, and one I'm so sad about. It's Tyler Breeze. And I'm not just talking about him in Breezango.
Yeah.
I know what he can do as a single wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
He was the glue in NXT for not being the champion. He was the glue that held a lot of things together.
Yep.
Right.
He was the measuring stick for a lot of guys.
Yep.
Because I remember when he was there, he was the guy that would go, okay, you think you're ready to go to the main roster? Fine, have a match with Tyler.
Yep.
And then they would beat Tyler and then go to the main roster, and Tyler was still there.
Right.
And they have just misused, mismanaged potential.
That's Vince.
I agree.
All over that
And
one.
I would love to see him. I love Breezango, but I would love to see him turn.
Do his own thing.
Love to see him do his own thing, come out with the Prince Pretty thing back again, and let him just run as the egomaniac.
He could be the new Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, he totally could be.
There's a problem there. They still have Dolph Ziggler.
Nah,
They should
well,
let Dolph
if not,
Ziggler be Dolph.
My predictions surely go wrong.
Yeah, but
he won't be around this year.
I think Tyler is that person where it's like you watch him, and the sad thing is it's become so long now since he was great in NXT.
You've forgotten.
People forgotten, or people that are now watching going, "Oh, this guy's okay," and I'm going, "No, this guy's amazing."
He's in Jinder
you
Mahal
don't
territory
realize it
before he became who he is.
Amazing.
Right,
So,
right.
all right, who's yours?
I have two guys. You mentioned one guy, and then the obvious choice jumped in my head, and it's tough. So I will say my choice is Ty Dillinger.
Yep, I agree with that one too.
Because here's a guy that
Over.
literally was in NXT and made such an impact in NXT. His gimmick carried over into the main roster until the WWE squashed it.
Yep.
The 10 thing on the 10 count for the ref.
His gimmick was so big that before the Royal Rumble this year, people said if he doesn't come in at number 10,
It'd be a disappointment.
we're going to burn the building down.
Right. And he did, and he got tossed out.
Yeah.
I think he is a tremendous waste of talent.
Yeah, I agree.
Him and I'll go ahead and say my backup guy, Cedric Alexander.
Yep.
Yes.
Cedric Alexander in the indie scene was doing stuff that does not even make sense. Defies logic, it defies gravity. He's amazing. Go look at some of the stuff from CZW
ROH.
and ROH, and Cedric is being wasted.
Well, I think I think they, now that Rich Swann is gone, I think he's because I think they were giving him another push.
Sure.
I think Cedric's sliding into that spot. So we may be able to finally see what he can do.
Yeah, but he's still going to be stuck on 205. And I had the
No,
problem.
yeah.
Tommy's
Well,
the same
never-
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is Tommy's main
Well,
roster
they're trying
material,
to build that brand.
right.
and 205 is just going to kill him.
The sad thing about this whole category is we could probably list 30 guys.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Finn
clearly.
Balor, the club,
Oh,
the list goes on and on and on. But I think the three that we picked really are,
Yeah.
as
guys that are just
Macho
disappearing.
says, cream of the crop.
Yeah. All right. So who's your most overrated wrestler? Mr. JB?
I think Irish is in my notes tonight because
All right.
mentioning people. I'm going to shock some people,
Yes.
but I'm going to say Finn Balor.
Finn Balor's overrated.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We cannot be friends.
I think I really think now that he's on the main roster, I don't know if it's I don't know if I blame it on the time restrictions and the cable TV, because it kind of, a lot of times it takes away from what they can do and it restricts them. But the personality is not there for me.
Well, you call him a charisma vacuum, and I don't completely disagree with
The
that.
in ring he's great. The entrance is great, but when he talks, I lose interest. And for me, that's part of the package, and I can kind of see, that can only be the thing holding him back is his charisma or lack thereof.
yes.
Being with the club, if that were to take place, then obviously that would paint him in a different light.
Good.
Because I think Carl Anderson's a good talker.
Yep.
But as a standalone, I just don't find his character when he speaks intriguing. But we've talked about this. For him, I think the best way for them to get around that, he just needs to talk less. Like characters like that, the mystique is what is the appeal of the character.
I agree with that.
Kind of like that old Sting character when he used to be in the Rafters. You just talk when you have something to say. Like,
I don't want to go
here's-
that far, but I can see that.
Let me throw this out at you, because when the Bullet Club reunited, lots of love to the Bullet Club and the Elite. When the Bullet Club reunited, I thought it was really great, and then there's Finn coming out with a big grin on his face. It was great to see that.
Yeah.
But when the Bullet Club was the Bullet Club, to get the Balor Club over, they have to be heels.
Yeah.
And the thing that Finn is missing from his NXT days
Is Edge.
the edge comes from having an impassioned, the thing about NXT Finn Balor was when he would get into feuds with people, there was a lot of passion behind it. There was a lot of anger behind it, and he was passionate about it, and he's had no feuds with anybody like that.
Well, I'll use
That's a perfect example.
Yeah,
It just popped into my head when you said Edge.
yeah.
He can be like a modern day Brood,
Yeah.
Edge type character.
Right.
But the passion you're talking about is his battle with Samoa Joe. Those were brutal.
Those were
Right.
I remember the Japan show.
It was just brutal. And you're right. There was passion there. There was desire there. There was a push there. And he doesn't have that. I agree.
I don't know if it's him per se, the lack of passion.
I think
but
it's the writing.
I just feel like, sometimes TV, you have the time restraints and it restricts what you can do. And that may or may not be any fault of his, but like from the build up, Finn Balor is coming. He won the Universal title. He got hurt.
The demon.
And it just felt like it's been a disappointment. You know what
It
I mean?
has been.
Yeah.
It has been.
It has been. They spent more time. I mean, I love his entrance, but if they cut the entrance in half,
Yeah.
if they turn him heel, he wouldn't have to do the whole.
Yeah.
He just walk out.
He just walk out and just beat the living crap out of people and do what Finn does. I don't disagree with your choice. I agree, but unfortunately, I think it's because he's been foisted this role upon him.
And that title is more
underutilized, not overrated.
it's more based off of my expectations of him
Sure.
I
coming
agree.
over than him
totally agree.
him actually as a performer.
It would be exactly what happened if Kenny Omega came into WWE.
Yeah, and that's why he probably would never.
All right. Mine is
Roman Reigns.
no.
Blasphemy.
It's not Roman Reigns. Actually, no. It's
Bastard.
a guy that I used to like, and now I cannot stand in any way.
Goldust.
It's Enzo Amore. Just
He was the second guy on my list.
cannot. I loved him when he was with Cass. It was fun. It was entertaining. And now he's just irritating as shit. And I fast forward over his segments.
Yep.
Because it's rambly. It makes no sense. And I don't know what he's doing.
Yep.
And he went from, he's the champion on 205. They keep pushing him. Now they're putting him with Nia. I don't understand the draw anymore.
I completely agree with you.
I don't think there is a draw anymore.
No, I mean
honest
it's
with you.
just it's like he's a heel, not because we hate his character. We just don't like him anymore.
We're bored.
because too much of his shtick is real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I'm with you on that 150%.
Who's yours? Overrated Mr. Irish.
I'm going to pick something you guys are going to push back on.
That's
I
okay.
think Jason Jordan.
I'm not pushing back on that.
I think Jason Jordan has all the ability. See, here's my thing. If they're making him say lines and giving him direction to where he's acting and doing the things that he's doing, that's on WWE. I just think that he's overrated. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not. To me, doesn't feel like he's ready for the push that he's got. That push could be given to somebody else who's much more deserving than that guy. I mean,
I agree with you.
I talented, yes.
Yep.
But I said it in the show on Thursday. It's the Roman Reigns of it all. They cram him down our throat, but they're cramming him down our throats like he's a heel. You're gonna hate him. Yeah, I do hate him. But the thing is it takes the fun out of watching the show. I still watched, Roddy Piper when he was a heel. I still watched, Brutus the Barber Beefcake when he was a heel. I still watch
Hollywood
heels.
Hulk Hogan is the greatest heel ever.
Right. I still watch them.
I mean,
because they're
that's-
interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Jason's not interesting to watch.
No.
He's whiny. And all I think of literally when I watch him on TV is he's Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, I can see that. All right.
That's what they're going for. I mean, like, I think with him, they forced that on him.
Right.
Well, they gave him the whole Kurt Angle is my father thing was that killed to begin with.
But I mean, at the end of the day, we actually even predicted that he had great heel potential.
Yeah.
Like his matches have been good.
Yeah, his matches are good, but
his personality, and he doesn't have it yet.
Right.
But he never had to talk before.
Right.
So it's
no,
like
he had Gable before.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, he's still finding his way. But yeah, they gave him too much too soon.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of Roman Reigns effect. People are going to resent that because they feel like, like I said, he's being crammed down our throats.
I had a third person on my list, and you guys are going to crap when I tell you who it is.
Who?
Dean Ambrose.
Oh.
I can see that. I'm not going to.
Dean, I like Dean, but he is a one-trick pony.
Yeah, I agree.
I like him. I genuinely like him as the stuff that
I've seen. And I enjoy his matches.
Yeah, the stuff that I've seen in the back, like the stuff that they do, the background stuff. I like him. I like Renee Young. I think they're great as a couple. I think that he has potential to be a great character, but his championship run was lackluster. All of his promos are literally the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think he's overrated. He needs this 9-month period that he's gone because of the injury. Get well soon, buddy. We love you. And we'd love to have you on the show.
On the show.
But take this time,
repackage,
and really think through some type of a character tweak because the Dean Ambrose Asylum and the crazy this lunatic fringe thing.
Yep.
Find something different, man.
All
right. Next,
the Brian Pillman stick has run its course.
All right.
Even when Brian was doing it.
Most shocking moment.
There were a lot of candidates for me for this one.
I got one.
I kind of stepped out of my comfort zone for this one because I don't normally talk about this show too often. But Adam Cole is a rival.
Good call.
Good
to
call.
NXT.
That was a shock to a lot of people. I didn't think he was ever going to show up.
I think 10 years from now, when they look back on this is probably going to be one of their top 3 signings in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
To get a guy literally at 27 years old in his prime, to take the face of another company, to bring him in to your developmental, quote unquote.
Right.
It was a huge get for WWE.
I agree.
Came in, made an immediate impact. He
no
for
pun
me,
there.
For me, he is definitely the face and the future of the company.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree.
And I just think that the impact of that alone was shocking that they were able to pull him away from Ring of Honor at the ripe age of 27.
Yeah.
Where a lot of these guys are coming in on the back end of their careers. He walked away from that company in his prime
and walked
into this situation.
Has the potential to have a 20-year career with WWE.
Yeah, walked out of being the elite, walked out of all of the stuff that comes with that, and decided to go with the company.
Yeah, all right. Mine was Jinder Mahal win the title at Backlash from Orton.
Yeah.
For 2 reasons. Number one, because when it happened, we're going, what the hell are you thinking? And then looking back, and this is where we get to look back for the year, going, holy crap, that worked.
Yeah.
Like you took a guy that you went, he doesn't deserve a title. By the end of his run, you're like, wow,
that's actually really good.
He deserves a title. Like he totally transitioned everything. It was just an unexpected moment. It's the things that we want from WWE to happen that I'm now
we don't get enough of.
That we don't get enough of. That I'm like that I may have bitched at the moment, and realized it later. Went, oh, this was great, and that's what I want more of.
It's amazing what can happen if the machine's behind you.
Yeah, I loved it.
Literally.
Yeah.
Irish.
For me, it was at WrestleMania. Because the night before, Ring of Honor has a show in Lakeland, Florida, and the Hardy Boys were there.
Yes.
And then on WrestleMania, the Hardy Boys came out. And I remember watching it, and I stood up and went, no effing way.
Yeah.
There was rumor for a little bit, like very quickly.
I did not hear any of that stuff.
But it was bullcrap rumors. Like we all didn't believe it.
Yeah. They came out, and I was like, that's truly amazing because I don't get shocked anymore.
Yeah,
well, it was also the way they did it. If you remember, the way they did it was like a 3-way match for the title.
A New Day came out.
And the New Day came out as the host. And everybody's like, oh, we knew you were going to put yourself in the match. Yeah. Like, we knew you were in the match.
And they came out dressed.
And they came out dressed like they were going to wrestle. And they went, oh, no, it's not us. It's, and then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was for me a shocking moment because we don't have enough of those in wrestling anymore.
I agree.
Absolutely.
You know, because two things. One, we have the internet. And two, WWE has this nasty habit of spoiling returns.
Everything
Yes.
You know.
on Twitter and 5 minutes before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we move on to the next groups, I'd like to thank DuClaw Brewing Company for your sweet baby Java. This is really good.
I did have a second choice for that category.
Oh,
Who was
I'm
your
sorry.
choice? I want to hear it.
Just quickly, it was a Shield reunion.
Yeah.
Like, I literally, I loved them initially, and we kind of knew they were going to get back together, but when they actually reunited on that show and they all put the fist in the middle, like, I literally got goosebumps for a minute.
Yeah.
It was good to see that. They're kind of falling off though.
Yeah,
before
because
the
they
injury.
injured. They keep getting
Before,
injured.
no, even before that,
There's
they
a-
were they have separate entrances. Like,
Yeah.
When's the last time
Right.
they came through the crowd?
True.
You know what I mean? Like if you're,
They did it a few weeks.
yeah,
few
but
weeks
it
ago.
kind of felt like they were going back to their own thing.
Does Enzo and Nia Jax count as a shocking moment? 'Cause
No.
No,
okay.
just wait. It
That
gets,
was
it gets
sad.
shocking. Don't
That was
worry.
weird.
All
Just-
right.
Just wait till
That's
they
a
make out on
shocker.
TV.
That's the shocker, not the shocking.
Wait till they make out on TV.
That's
then
different.
That'll be the.
Dude,
All
I'm
right.
drinking beer here. Shut up.
Wait till-
Next on,
You ain't seen
we're
shocked
going to go
yet.
on to our bests now. We're going on to the best feud of 2017.
For me,
JB?
it was Jericho versus Owens.
Yes.
Wasn't even close.
All right.
It recaptured one of the best feuds I ever remember. I talk about all the time was Jericho HBK back in the days.
Yep.
This was one of the first feuds in the while that I actually got excited about.
Yep.
It was the turn was executed perfectly. The WrestleMania match wasn't all that I expected, but it was solid. But they play off of each other very well, and I was always entertained by their matches in their
I
feud.
think Jericho said they were disappointed. with that.
He said
It wasn't what
yeah.
I thought, but it was solid.
All right. Mine is a feud that was rekindled this year. That I think is going to end up going down as one of the feuds of the 2010s.
Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers.
New Day versus Usos, man.
Yeah.
They every couple of years they come back, but they keep having great matches. I mean, they went back and forth again this year.
Yeah.
And there were some great matches in there. And I think it's the kind of feud where it goes away and comes back and goes away and comes
Yeah.
back. And every time it comes back, it's not like you're going, oh, them again. You kind of go,
That makes one of us.
I
though.
think they have the ability to kind of to reinvent themselves in that feud. So like when they do cross paths again, it'll feel differently. Kind of like an Edge, Christian, and the Hardys versus Dudley Boys.
That's why I said I
type
think
of deal where that went on forever.
Yeah.
But
This is that feud.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Who's your Irish?
I gotta say that Jericho Owens was pretty good. I think the feud that I'm choosing as the best feud was the one that reinvigorated the Miz's career, and it really wasn't much of a feud, but it was the Miz versus Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
I actually almost put that as my favorite moment.
The verbal sparring between those two, and I don't think that we're done with that.
That was almost my favorite moment, actually.
Yeah, I don't think we're done with that by a long shot. But it was great to see the Miz go up against Daniel Bryan, and that led to the Miz leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought it was.
That was career.
Good.
That was a redefining moment in his career.
Redefining who he was as a wrestler. So I would probably say, and
it helped make
skirting
Bryan
the issue a little bit.
It also helped make Bryan back into the mainstream because it really pushed a lot of the buttons that people were talking about. And what I liked about it is that they use what people are saying online in the Miz's promos.
Well, did you hear about how that came about?
No.
So he comes to the arena that night, and he was an Intercontinental Champion at the time.
Yeah.
He wasn't on the show.
Yeah.
And he said he went to the writers, was like, well, how am I not on the show tonight? I'm the Intercontinental Champion. And that was the night I think they were introducing the new SmackDown tag titles and the women's title. And he's like, so I have no segment. And he was legitimately pissed about it. And he was like, well, put me on Talking Smack or something. So they agreed to put him on Talking Smack. And he said he just literally, none of that part was scripted. He just vented.
Yeah.
Because he was legitimately pissed. He's like...
But it was venting at the company, not Daniel. Daniel was just the face of that moment.
And he was like, this is the second most prestigious title in your company.
Yeah.
And I'm not on the show tonight. And it's not being showcased the way I feel it should be showcased. And he literally took a legitimate moment. And that's where that came from.
I agree. All right. That's something that does. All right. Who had the best title run of 2017? JB?
For me, it was Jinder Mahal
Well, that makes two of us. I agree with that.
because it was shocking in itself. And then he
Became legit.
He had like a 6-month run.
But not even
It was like for him to have a 6-month run. How could that not be the best? You know what I mean?
But
Like,
it wasn't the fact that he had a 6-month run for me. It was the fact that he
looked legitimate.
Like when he started, we're like, why is the belt on him? To by the end of the 6 months, you're like, oh, I totally buy this.
But then he beat Shinsuke.
Yep.
Who else? Randy. Who else did he beat?
He beat Randy a couple
other
times.
people.
Shinsuke, yeah.
But he actually winning the title was shocking in itself. But for him to keep it, I literally thought he'd have it for 30 days.
Yeah.
And for him to carry it through the summer and have some of the quality matches that he had,
And be legitimately a
was
true contender.
by far for me the best title
Yeah,
run.
that was my favorite.
It
Irish.
wasn't my favorite. I mean,
No,
I
it wasn't
was-
it was
Right.
it wasn't my favorite, but
No,
the
but I
category
think
was
the best run.
That
Best
category
run.
was best run.
Yeah.
I have to say, God, this is a tough one for me because I have two people.
I had two, but this
I
Jinder
had
was.
two. Miz has to be an honorable mention.
Yep.
Because just what he did with the Intercontinental belt,
Yep.
Well, if you look at it, they're the only two. It had to be one of them based
Well,
on that.
there's
Because
no-
if you,
Oh no, my choice is Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, but she.
well, she had kind of two titles. throughout the
And that's
year,
why
so-
she had the SmackDown and the Raw, and that was
mean-
my other choice too.
You know, I have to say Alexa Bliss, and you know, you would say, well, what about Charlotte Flair? That's true, but Alexa Bliss has had a continual run with the title, as opposed to Charlotte's had like run, block, run, block, run, block.
Well, the difference I also think between Charlotte and Alexa is with Charlotte, you expected it.
Right.
I never expected Alexa to have this run with the belt. I've never expected to have this long with the belt.
Is that your pick?
No, Jinder is my pick, but
okay.
she was a close second.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm saying. Is that was the back and forth between the two. Is I
Yeah.
couldn't chime the two because as much as Jinder legitified himself as a champion, Alexa came over to Raw, didn't have the belt, won it, and you're like, wow, she just keeps going. Like that's how much confidence they have in her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
Clearly.
that's my second.
That's my choice. I
Yeah.
mean,
That's fine.
I you know, Jinder was there, Miz was there, and Bliss was there. I figured you guys were probably going to go Miz or Jinder.
Yeah.
So I just want to have a different voice, and I just like. I mean, who doesn't like Alexa Bliss? I mean, there's nothing that you don't.
Yeah, she's great.
All right, so on to our best gimmick match. So best non-normal match of the year. What was yours?
The first ever women's Hell in a Cell, Charlotte versus Sasha.
Very good match.
Absolutely.
That feud was the best women's feud of the year.
Yeah, I agree.
Even though I was pissed they flopped those belts around like crazy, those two had a great, intense rivalry. Obviously, they have a great connection. They great chemistry in the ring. That was for me. That was the best women's feud of the year.
Okay.
And that match was everything that they promised it would be.
All right. Mine was War Games. I mean, just that match was
Now I got
just
to watch this shit tonight.
on-
Keep me up all night.
real.
Yeah.
Because number one, the fact that it was on NXT made it better
Yeah.
because it didn't have
I heard they had the top
Vince
off the cage.
didn't have
though.
Vince.
It
What'd you
didn't
say?
have Vince.
I heard
and
they
it-
had the top off the cage. Is that right? Because usually the old War Games it was enclosed
Yeah.
completely.
No. Yeah. They did. They had
the
the
top
top off
off.
the
Yeah,
cage.
Yeah, job of it. But what made it great was it was on NXT, so you had young, hungry talent
Who could take a bump?
that could take a bump and just want to go out there and beat the living crap out of each
I
other.
gotta watch that.
Yeah.
And it was unreal.
I tell you what, if you want to go home, pull it up, fast forward to the women's four-way, the Aleister Black,
Yeah.
and then watch War Games. And that's pretty much all you
It's
need.
All right.
it's unreal. It's the match that
I'm probably pissed about half the people off are listening right now.
But I'm saying
Sorry.
it's the match that okay. Put it this way: when Sanity comes up and Authors of Pain come up, and especially Adam and all those guys come up, this is the match that we're going to see in video package for the next 5 years when they talk about when Eric Young is taking on Adam Cole for whatever is happening on the main roster.
Right.
They're going to go, oh, remember when they beat the living schnizzle out of each other in War
Right.
Games?
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
it's that kind of match. It's unreal. I don't want to the point where I want War Games being NXT exclusive. I never want it in the main roster. I want it to stay in NXT.
I agree.
It deserves. What's yours, Irish?
Well, I was going to say the Punjab prison match.
Don't.
I can see how that'd be a close second.
And I was going to say the first ever women's Money in the Bank match.
Yep.
But they screwed it up so bad,
Yep.
I couldn't choose it. So that only left me with War Games.
Yeah. War Games so
amazing. It was just, there's just no way around it. To see the Undisputed Era going up against guys from Sanity and then the Authors of Pain get in the mix.
Yep. And Rhetoric Strong. And
It was
Sounds like you finally come around on the Authors of Pain.
I have. In a way.
They've gotten a lot better. What the great thing is Paul Ellering's given them some strategy, and they've booked them with weaknesses. They've got weaknesses.
Okay.
They're not just monsters.
But what made that match different also is it was just them. Is they had Rhetoric Strong as their teammate, and that helped in that because where they're sort of slow and methodical and kind of beady, they got that push from Rhetoric of just jumping off of crap and attacking.
Yeah,
So-
and it was cool because they come out with the vests,
and he came out.
Roderick had a vest on, and I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so, all right. So on to our favorite turn, face or heel.
Did you say turd?
Turn?
I could have swore you said turd.
Turn.
Our favorite turd.
Favorite turn. That'd be that most overrated. That'd be Enzo. So,
Truth.
if you want to come on the show and talk about how you're not a turd, Enzo, I will turn your microphone off and let you talk from the other side of the room.
What do we got over here?
Yeah, turd.
Haters. By the way, that Drew Gulak segment. What do we have over here? A couple of haters.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Who was your favorite turn this year?
It was weird because it wasn't like a full on obvious turn, but Braun Strowman going from heel to face, it seems like it sent his career into a different stratosphere.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
it was organic. That's
Yeah, and that's the thing.
happened.
Like, it wasn't a forced. It wasn't a storyline plot turn.
It was the crowd.
It was It was an
was
organic.
dictated.
It was an organic turn.
Yeah.
But like his dominance and his popularity is so high right now. It's like this will catapult him all the way through this year.
I agree.
And I think he'll be the next Brock Lesnar.
I agree.
As far as the guy to be the quote unquote beast.
Yeah. He may not have the belt, but he'll always be in the mix for the
He'll
belt.
always be.
So are you saying that Braun Strowman is the next big thing?
Hey,
Oh my god.
could be.
All right.
If we can get the Paul Heyman endorsement, we might have something here.
My favorite turn this year is a turn that resurrected a career that I thought was going to be future endeavored by the end of this year, if not easily.
Who is that?
Sami Zayn. He
Yeah.
went from being sort of irrelevant and goofy and I'm just here to a great heel foil with KO. When he turned full heel during the Hell in a Cell match and pulled KO off, and now the whole Yep movement, and just the way him playing with KO, he has made him interesting in a way that I haven't been interested in Sami Zayn since he left NXT. I like him now in this role, and I think it turned his career in a new direction.
Yeah, he's given another chance, a little breath of fresh air.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm down with it. I think it's good. So, and I'm a big Sami Zayn mark, man. So I'm good with that.
All right.
Mine, I don't know if it was a double turn, but it was that moment in the Festival of Friendship where Jericho pulls out the list and says, "Why is my name on it?"
And then get thrown through a
And
TV.
that second, Kevin Owens became the biggest dick on the WWE roster and smashed Jericho. And it was one of those things where they were kind of tweeners.
It was a legit beatdown.
They were kind of tweeners. They would do some heelish things. Yeah. But at that moment, they literally turned
60-40. They were 60 heel.
But at that moment, they both literally went polar opposites. So it was like a double turn, sort of.
I agree.
Jericho's full face because,
KO beat the crap out of him.
KO is full on heel.
I agree.
And that was great. So that was probably my moment of, seconded maybe by the Usos.
So on to our.
What that go by?
I got you. No. The Uso turn happened the year before. They've been.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been a couple
all of
years.
2017. Oh, my
all
bad.
of 17. They've been Who?
I'm sorry, I just got out of the Uso
that
penitentiary.
was the entire year they were Uso penitentiary. Because I thought the same thing and I looked it up and that was the year before, so we're fine.
I'm sorry.
All right, so on to our best of. We're gonna give the big three awards now.
Man. That's hilarious.
So we're gonna start off with our best tag team of 2017. Team that
There's
you
so
think
many choices to choose from.
Impact or
Pretty
who you
sure
like the most.
Pretty sure this is unanimous.
All right, go ahead.
I'm going to Usos.
Oh no.
Oh, how can they not be?
It's not included. Oh, go ahead.
To go from where they went to turn heel, like they're on top of their game right now.
Okay.
Like it reinvented them, but it also gave their team a boost that it desperately needed.
Yep. I agree.
They've had the titles most of the year.
Yeah.
I don't even know 3 teams on Raw that maybe could have a case for anything.
All right.
They've only fought the New Day on
Well, I got one
SmackDown. So
for you.
for me, it's the Usos all the way, without a doubt.
Mine is the Bar. It took a team that
Bar?
No, it's fine. I took a team that I never expected to be anything.
That's true.
They solidified themselves. They turned Cesaro full heel. They gave them a look. They solidified their look between the two of them, and they have become dominant in the ring. They're entertaining when they talk now. I haven't been interested in Sheamus in probably a decade.
About a minute.
And now I am. I think Cesaro is great. The eventual breakup of this team a couple years down the road is going to be epic
And brutal.
Best of 7
and
series.
brutal. But it took
Although the man fought with his teeth knocked out, so
Yeah.
I gotta put him on the list.
Did you
for
see that special on WWE yet?
No.
Oh, the
behind the photo
booth. I haven't watched it yet. I want to watch it though.
The show is basically they have a photo, a snapshot in time, and it's that photo of him with the teeth, and he tells the story behind it. He says, "Well, we finished the match because that's what Sheamus and I do."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Holy crap!"
But I think the Bar have raised the bar. I think they have shown what they can do. The Usos are great, but I think the Bar is unexpected, and that's why I picked them, because I knew the Usos had potential and could be great. I've wanted to discount the Bar since the minute they got together, and the whole gimmick of, we're not the Bar, we are the Bar.
Like I said, that they had potential.
It's
when they put them together.
Great.
But like for me, the Usos were like,
I agree.
it was so stale.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then even when they had the heel turn, it was like they're so over the top with this lingo,
and they toned it down.
and they quickly, realized that it was too much.
Yeah, I agree.
and now they're getting face pops.
Yeah. All right.
It's like they've totally reinvented themselves. And
Irish, who is your team?
well, I can't believe I'm about to say this.
I can't either. If you're going to say what I think you're going to say,
I am. The one thing about Chris Jericho that's so amazing is time after time he reinvents himself.
Okay.
And he ups the bar. He changes it a little bit to where he's interesting. And I'll be honest with you, I got a little tired of these guys. And then, they started changing up a little bit. So it's not that they're super compelling, but any tag team that can change, through the times and make themselves relevant and reinvent aspects of it, from throwing cereal all over people to the ice cream cart to flapjacks. Yeah, I'm picking New Day.
I love it.
Really?
I love
Yeah,
it.
I'm picking New Day.
All right.
Nothing against the Usos. Usos phenomenal tag team,
They've stayed relevant though.
but what the New Day's done is
I love it.
We
got this on tape, ladies and gentlemen.
What's interesting, the gimmick is
I was going to say Authors of Pain. So
this gimmick has been going on now almost 2 years.
probably longer than that.
New Day?
No,
Days has
the
gone on.
current iteration.
Oh.
It's changed over time.
Kind of.
But this current iteration of the goofiness and the pancakes and the cereal and it's really been about the last year and a half, and I agree. And they've kept it interesting. They've kept it fun. They've moved.
WWE WrestleMania in Dallas was a giant cereal box. So this has been going on for 2 years.
2 years now. 2 years now. Yeah,
Giant cereal box.
Or 2 years now. Yeah.
And the
right.
anime costumes.
Yes.
So you're talking, but I agree with you though. It's been an impressive run,
Right.
for 3 guys that are being just goofy.
They have nothing in common. And
Boom, boom.
I will say this. They've been really good about making fun of themselves.
Yeah.
But they've also been really good about when it's time to really get down and get serious with the Usos.
Yeah.
They've done it, and they've done it in different pairings.
What that's the thing that I agree with you on that is they have done well where it's no matter what three guys are in the ring.
Right.
It's interesting
Yeah.
whether it's Kingston and Woods. That's a good combination, or Woods and Biggie or Biggie and Kingston. The whatever combination you get of them together.
It's just flavors.
I like the fact that they're actually giving Woods a chance to do single stuff.
And they should.
be more involved as before. He was just pretty much the mouthpiece.
Yeah. Right.
And he was a throwaway
Right.
of the group. But now he's more, it feels like a full
And that's one thing I would like to see.
complete unit.
I would like to see Kingston and Biggie stay more as a team
and
let Woods go
US
off.
title.
Dude,
or
I'd love to
something.
put a belt. Yeah, put a belt on them so they can all three hold belts.
Yeah, exactly. And let him run around as a single wrestler, but as a group, but as a single wrestler.
Right.
All right, I like that. All right, so on to our female women's superstar of the year.
Jeez.
I think this is maybe unanimous. I don't know. Go ahead,
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I went with Alexa.
Alexa.
To have both titles
Yeah.
on both shows for the majority of the year. Like there's no one that has accomplished more.
And she is over.
Yeah.
Over.
Not only that, is like I didn't expect it
Yeah.
when she came up.
Nope. Because she was a valet when she
But that's
came
what I'm
up.
saying. Like, and she's so tiny. It's like, are they gonna really put the belt? And no, they put it on the belt on her. Oh well, shit, she can talk. It's just like she just kept impressing me.
She can
you
talk.
know, like every week or every month, it seemed like I was more impressed with something she did, and it was like I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
And I think for me, that's what makes the superstar of the year is something you didn't see coming.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Something that actually exceeded what you thought and made you a believer, you know, and I'm a big fan of hers now. And she's definitely taken that division to another level.
Yeah. What I think makes her the superstar of the year is the fact that we saw so little of it in NXT. That it was shocking to the point where you were like, so was she like the Braun Strowman for women? Like they knew what they had and they just sort of, because Braun Strowman was used very lightly in NXT, then he showed up and became a huge star.
Right. They were both rosebuds.
Yeah. So was Alexa looked at like, we know what you have, so we're going to put you with these people just to keep you under wraps and teach you more behind the scenes. Because when you get to the main roster, we know you're going to detonate.
Right.
It's like it came out of nowhere. She was the valet for Blake and Murphy.
Right. Which
nowhere
where's
to be
Blake and
found.
Murphy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're like, and now she's one of the top 3 women in the company.
Right.
You know, that if you were to say tomorrow, or we're going to if she didn't have a belt, who are you going to put the belt on? She'd be in the list immediately.
Right.
Instantaneously. Above people like Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch, and she's eclipsed all of them.
Yeah. Sasha's been very disappointing
Poor
this year.
Bailey.
For different reasons.
And Bailey-
Bailey's been disappointing for different reasons. And I'm not blaming them. It's just
You know, right now of the top 3, I think are her, Charlotte, and Asuka. Those are the 3 women you look at. Like if you were to have one belt and say, okay, what 3 people do we think could hold it? Those are your 3. Everybody else falls in line behind them.
Right. I agree. Bliss is my choice, but you have to, I'm telling you, Charlotte Flair.
I agree.
Definitely.
She's
definitely. She's the gold standard still.
right.
Yeah.
But as far as, like you said, Fluffy, you expect that from Charlotte.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then like what you said, JB, was like, she's done this and it was unexpected and it was growth and it was change and it was exciting. It was fascinating.
Yeah.
Bliss is hands down the best.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah. All right. So on to our male superstar of the year.
Randy Orton.
That's right. It's
Didn't we do disappointing already?
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
Nope. It's Kurt Hawkins every day.
Hey, he's undefeated this year, right?
Every day.
He's got his own merchandise.
Isn't he undefeated in 2018?
Actually, he's got merchandise now that talks about his losing streak, which I think is hysterical.
That is funny.
All right, go ahead, Mr. JB.
Yeah, Podcast Kitty.
Finally show up.
Kitty.
You're
Agrees
late.
with me.
You're so late.
And buzzed.
I went back and forth on this one. But ultimately, I went with The Miz on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Talking Smack segment just kicked off a whole new level of intensity for him. It made me look at him in a different light. To have the Intercontinental title, he should have had it all year.
Yep.
Why they had him lose it for 2 weeks, I don't understand. But
They're douchebags.
that's neither here or there. Yeah, he remade himself. Didn't really change much. It just kind of seemed like he used that platform to
enhanced
re-energize
what he had.
Yeah, and it instead of being the chicken shit heel, it kind of gave him a little credibility. It gave him a little edge that he needed.
They gave him a Miztourage and didn't take away anything.
He used that moment, and it came from a moment of frustration, a legit moment of frustration, and he used that and turned it into a big positive. And I don't think there was anybody that had a better year than he did.
My superstar of the year is KO.
Nice.
Star of the year off, amazingly strong with the whole Jericho friendship, and then the Festival of Friendship and the disaster. Ran through the summer and is now ending on a high note with the I don't get any respect, and the Sami Zayn is my best friend now again, and is all year long consistently had match after match after match. That has just been amazing. He has become one of the backbones of the company now, that you can just go, okay, we need a good match. All right, KO can go in that spot. You know, his match with Shane in Hell in a Cell, I wanted to hate it when it first got announced, but it was a great match.
Yeah, absolutely.
They beat the crap out of each other and just keeps going. And I see in KO right now, he's one of the backbones. He's one of the guys they need, the pillars to hold up the entire thing.
I agree.
Irish.
God, there's a lot of choices for this one. Actually, honestly, guys who've taken the ball and run with it. And I think I'm choosing this person because I'm becoming more enamored with who he is and what he's done. Mainly because
Titus O'Neil?
Yeah. No.
2018's his year.
No. Hazira Tozawa.
No, that too. You got a lot of choices, huh?
No, I'm picking Chris Jericho.
Oh, okay.
Chris Jericho could take a plant and make it interesting. Chris Jericho could take a
that
scarf.
plant had a name.
Mitch.
Thank you.
He could take a scarf and make it interesting. He could take a clipboard and make it interesting. He could take anything basically and make it fascinating. He could bring passion. He could bring anger. He could bring joy. He could be funny.
Yep.
He could be intense. And then he takes a hiatus from the company and goes over, and he's getting ready to, as we record this, I think it's going to be tonight, he's going to take on Kenny Omega.
See, I think for me, that's why I couldn't give it Superstar of the Year, because he's been gone most of it. For me.
For 2017?
Yeah, he left, this summer?
Yeah, but
April,
still,
May,
the impact.
May. Yeah, he definitely did. He had the best segment of the year.
Yeah, you look at Samoa Joe's probably my next choice, because Samoa Joe does things that not everybody else could do. Yeah. But I still got to give it to Jericho, because overall, I think that he's probably, for me, he epitomizes what I think of the best.
See, the guy, for me, the second choice was Roman Reigns, because the guy has stepped up to another level.
True.
And for me, we earlier in the year, we used to rag on him weekly.
I agree.
We thought it was overkill. We thought he wasn't, there yet, quote unquote. But for me, the guy, he literally has proven himself to be the face of the company. Now that John Cena's finally stepped away from the spotlight and kind of given him the chance to do his thing. When he retired The Undertaker, he kind of embraced that moment. And he's run with it, and he's put on good matches. Him and Strowman had a great feud, probably the feud of the year for me.
One of them, yeah.
So for he was definitely a close second for me.
That was great. No, I think that's a great list. I think we had some good picks in there. I'm glad we did it. Thank you once again for listening to second annual Brewski Awards. Before I say that, I'd like to thank DuClaw Brewing Company for your sweet baby Java. Definitely get it if you can find it in your area.
Right. I loved it. Good stuff.
It's good.
It's gone.
When you're ready to put your beer down.
Beer? You probably thought James Ellsworth was going to be the best wrestler for 2017.
Well, in the category of no chin, yes. And wearing a dog collar.
I got to say, though,
best dog collar.
He makes a pretty good women's champion for Money in the Bank. He is the first ever Money in the Bank women's winner.
That's right. Head over to vintagepressing.com, vintagepressing.com, where you can get drink coaches, luggage tags, phone cases, and more.
Make sure you visit us at beersandbodyslams.com. Check out all of our show archives, our amazing sponsors. Click on them, do some shopping, get you some great merchandise. You can also find us on Facebook at Beers and Body Slams Podcast. And we would implore you, please go to YouTube and search Beers and Body Slams Podcast. The trick is we need 25 people to subscribe so we can get youtube.com/Beers and Body Slams.
Yay!
So we're a quarter of the way there, guys. So we need you guys to sign up and then click the bell icon. So whenever we put a new show out, you will be notified.
Great stuff. Please do that. We definitely could use the support. And like I said, we're trying to expand this show, make it better for you guys, and anything like that would give us definitely the platform, the ability to grow this thing even more this year. So appreciate the feedback and the support. Also, you can follow us on the Untapped app. You can actually search in your area to see where you can find this glorious beer that we tried today on the show. You can follow me at GoodOLJB.
You can follow me at Mr. Fluffy.
You can follow me at The Irish O'Leary.
Make sure you tune in on Thursday. We're going to talk about Raw and SmackDown as we are getting into we're on the country road that leads to the side road leads to the road to WrestleMania.
Take me home.
Because we're I don't want to say we're not on the road to WrestleMania yet. We're kind of on
the dirt path to WrestleMania.
We're on the thoroughfare.
We're on the cart path.
We're on the thoroughfare. We're on the thoroughfare to Royal Rumble.
Look out for that horse poop.
Yes, we're on the thoroughfare to Royal Rumble, which leads to the road to WrestleMania. I don't know.
We're on the turnpike to WrestleMania.
Yeah, but then you got to pay a toll. Oh, it's $9.99. We're paying the toll. We're on the toll road to Wrestle. So make sure you turn in that, and then we'll be back on Monday for a fun topic. We'll figure it out as we go because that's what we do it the best.
Put your pint on and stay stiff. Oh, wait, that's your line.
As always, make sure you keep your pint glasses full and your body slam stiff.
Or something stiff. I don't know. What were you saying there?
You've been listening to the Beers and Body Slams podcast. Find us online at beersandbodyslams.com and on Facebook at facebook.com/Beers and Body Slams podcast. Until next time.
Have a nice day.